Water is the softest and most yielding substance, yet nothing is better than water for overcoming the hard and rigid, because nothing can compete with it. Lao Tzu.
Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave.
Inside here, you get an insight and you know something, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. We've got a matchup here in week 2 in our NA console open tier. We've got YE Snowfall versus the Demon and Kittens Megalast. You ready to get it rolling?
Absolutely, Fletch. You know, it's great. Season 14, it's you and me back at it again. And just, you know, we have some amazing Overwatch to cover, especially on a very interesting day, right? We just had a pretty substantial patch shift. Some things kind of brewing in the background. A lot of people don't know what to play right now, but these two teams seems like they're just ready to go head to head anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that they've changed the armor bug, I guess, is what it was. They took a little bit of health away from D.Va. I think that's the most important thing, is that D.Va got nerfed. I don't know if it's enough to make her bad, because I don't know that the armor was like the biggest thing. But
the thing with D.Va is there was two main things, right? The armor reduction in terms of its damage, what you're doing to it, is going to be important, but the bug that was fixed that people didn't realize was a bug, people thought it was just intended, D.Va was getting multiplied speed boosts from speed boosting abilities such as Juno's speed ring, as well as Lucio's speed amp. So that's what was causing these D.Vas to sort of become server admins, where they could sort of run down somebody with micro missiles before there was any time to react. So being able to fix that bug, along with actual, you know, nerfs to D.Va in terms of the overall health reduction of, I believe, 25 armor, as well as just the overall reduction to armor, definitely should bring her more in line. But, you know, there's still some other interesting stuff in this patch, right? You have a sneaky little Hanzo buff. He's back to one-shotting, but, I mean, ultimately it comes down to if these teams have practiced it at all, or if they're just going to go in with what they know.
yeah, it's kind of a hard thing, right? To play a game on patch day. I think we're just gonna see the D.Va still, unless somehow these teams that we're gonna get a look at real quick manage to find something out here as we get a look at the rosters. On the top, you've got YE Snowfall with Turtle Boy on the tank, EVV and Zombie on the DPS and in the backline. You got Teggy and Paradox, and then on the bottom, you got Raw Dogger on the tank, Ruby, Sad on the DPS, and Kylo and Pika Pepper in that backline. I mean, a couple of really good teams. You know, Paradox, a member of the Team Big Dog from a couple of seasons ago, that was very, very good, and finally coming back to play this season. Really excited to see these two teams play.
Absolutely, you know, I mean, behind the scenes, got a little bit of info from one of the teams, and apparently there's a little bit of beef between both these squads. You know, players trialing for one squad, not making it on a one, ended up having to go to another, and so now there's a little bit of a point to prove for both of these teams, right? You know, in terms of, did we make the right roster decision? Did we maybe leave out a player that's about to put us in the dirt? So a lot of ego to play for, despite it being super early in the season for both these squads. But I think that just, again, it makes for a more exciting match when you already have some good stakes on the line, where these teams are ready to just throw it all out on the table.
Yeah. I mean, to have a reason to play a match this early in the season, I mean, it's good that, you know, we're getting this match. It's crazy, first of all, that we've got a match on a Tuesday. That doesn't happen very often, which is nice, because today is the only day this week that's fully free. So I get to come in here and watch this match. But, you know, there's not usually, like you said, those stakes on matches this early in the season. So it is nice to have something to play for this early.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And, you know, while those stakes are nice, like you said, it's still early in the season. If a team loses here, it's not the end of the world. It's a sort of a learning opportunity and things of that nature. Especially with, again, that patch being so recent, it could be, you know, a great learning opportunity. Almost treat this like a scrim if you really feel like it, right? Let's start testing out, you know, new compositions, or like you were alluding to before, maybe just stick with the D.Va, even if it's not the most OP thing anymore. Just sort of relying on that comfortability that teams probably built and grew to. But ultimately, again, it comes down to what these teams feel comfortable with, what these teams are thinking about in the back of their minds. But I'm really excited to see exactly how this is going to work out, because if I'm not mistaken as well, this will be our first, at least my first casted match where Clash is in the pool.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. So that'll be really interesting as we get a look at our map pool here. Our first map going to be Oasis. I mean, if we're gonna see a D.Va, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it here on Oasis. There is a lot of really good high ground on Oasis to run that dive comp. I'm like we've been talking about this patch. You know, it's definitely put a hurt on what made D.Va so good for so long. But honestly, I think that even without the absolutely ridiculous speed boost, you know, breaking everything, I think D.Va's still more than viable.
I couldn't agree more. Like, again, D.Va is just still definitely going to be a strong tank, but maybe some more options depending on what you play around it. A sneaky little buff to Roadhog that came out in this patch, and it seems like Eevee already willing to show it off here for Snowfall, with a very specific comp, probably built around getting picks here while the supports are going to keep everyone alive. Meanwhile, on the other side, Demon Kittens, they do have that D.Va in play, but no Juno, no speed boost in sight, instead going with a very survivable backline of the Lucio and the Kiriko. So old school dive mixing in with the D.Va. We'll see how it plays out.
Alright, Oasis Garden. Eevee has to back down, using that buff to take a breather, get that back a little bit quicker. I mean, right now, White Snowfall just kind of shoved into the staircase as Paradox gets really aggressive, jumping up there with those Juno boosters. Has to back down and run away. Eevee is on the point, throwing out hooks, but not finding a whole lot of connections just yet as Ruby rotates down to try and take care of this Tracer, but with Kylo going down, it's not going to look good for Demon Kittens here as Snowfall takes the first flip.
Yeah, Ruby giving up that high ground there on the Ashe, like we saw, you know, sure, you were rotating, you were trying to look for that pick on the Tracer, but there's just never really a situation where on Ashe you want to give up that high ground, that potential, because you saw what happened on the other side, right? Zombie sitting up on high, managed to score the first pick of the fight, and it snowballed from there in Snowfall's favor. So heading into this next one, Demon Kittens, they're probably looking to set up and try to find a way to dismantle this high ground hold.
Alright, here we go. Ruby from main, just trying to put these shots to good use as the Raw Dogger tries to put some pressure on the point, now jumps on it to Zombie on that high ground, backs down immediately. That hook, I think, broke on a Raw Dogger there. And now jumping onto this backline, Blossom trying to keep themselves alive as Paradox assists here, and now the whole team is coming to the rescue, and with Pika and Kylo down, right now the Demon Kittens, they are heavy on the back foot.
Yeah, and
ooh.
I was gonna say, actually, some value gained for Demon Kittens in the last second because the Paradox ends up investing that orbital strike. But, you know, they're getting some more picks for it. They're playing super aggressive right now, knowing that they're down their tank. I mean, but that's the thing about Roadhog right now, especially with the extra HP resources he ended up getting in this patch, in terms of just being able to regenerate to take a breather. You know, you have this confidence about you now that you didn't have before on Roadhog. And so now Raw Dog are having to match it on the other side, but we're already approaching final fight territory potentially.
Alright, Bob gonna enter the fray here from Ruby and Zombie both. Zombie has control of this high ground as the Kitsune Rush from Pika Pepper enters the point as well, but Zombie able to connect on some great shots there onto Kylo. The hook from Raw Dogger goes wide as everybody on Snowfall drops down to the low ground. The rally for Blossom able to put the Roadhog away, and Snowfall is gonna take Garden.
Taking Garden in a very dominant fashion, Demon Kittens really didn't get the best chance to sort of, you know, maneuver their way in there. Starting out on the D.Va comp, couldn't really dismantle the high ground hold, and then ultimately mirroring just a little bit too late potentially, but it's a whole new round, a whole new approach that they're going to try to have here. And Demon Kittens currently, they're hovering the Orisa pick. Again, a hero who, you know, last time that this hero was meta, it was because a lot of small buffs finally ended up paying off in the long run. And my personal opinion, she's starting to get to that point again. It feels like every patch we're getting a little bit of an Orisa buff. She got an extra, I believe it's buff to Fortify in terms of just being able to move a little bit faster during it. So Only time will tell if this could be the thing that finally takes her over the edge. As on the other side, the Roadhog's no longer in sight, as Malga is going to be on the field for Eevee.
Alright, Eevee stomps there, tries to find something and burns down Ruby. Tried to get away, but could not. But unfortunately for YE Snowfall, their entire backline is just getting run down by a very angry horde. Everyone goes down as Demon Kittens are going to be able to take this first fight and flip here on City Center.
Being able to take it in a fashion like this is exactly what you want. But now, the immediate swap, right? Zarya's coming in, the beam damage is what you're expecting to help chunk down this Orisa. But it does mean that neither team's really going to be playing for the high ground, so, you know, either of these Ashes, if they're able to set up there, find some value, it could be a massive plus to their team, as we're already seeing this Zarya force everybody on the side of the team and getting back.
Yeah, and they're just putting so much damage into these bubbles from Eevee, comfortably sitting at about 50 or 60 charge at the moment. Now 80 for the Zarya, just absolutely farming this charge, but now without any bubbles and in the face of a Kitsune Rush, that charge means absolutely nothing for YE Snowfall as this Orisa composition starts to take over.
And this is exactly what you know, like I was talking about, right? Orisa, sure, you could argue that armor reduction is a thing, and it's not as powerful as it was last patch, but, you know, these are some very good cooldowns. You're able to cycle them in a pretty effective manner as long as you're not spamming them for any particular reason. Now you're seeing the D.Va come out from Eevee. This means that this composition is going to want to play very fast-paced, very in-your-face, and they're going to have to almost sort of ignore the Orisa, get past it, get onto the backline, or potentially even this Ashe to sort of engage these fights.
Right, sad with the Pulse Bomb. I thought that was the Terra Surge that got those kills, but no! Shuffled into a corner is Sad's Pulse Bomb, gets two. Turtle Boy tries to keep this fight afloat, but right now Snowfall they're just absolutely lost.
And, you know, it's a complete flip from round one. I'm really liking this look. Like I said, it's just the Orisa has been commanding space in every single one of these fights. You know, the whole point of this composition that Snowfall is running is they want to get past it, as you're seeing now, but they can't do it. The Orisa's just in the front line doing too much.
Alright, as the sound barrier fades away, Paradox is going to throw down this orbital strike here, and it's going to do more than enough healing, more than enough damage boosting for YE Snowfall to finally find their footing here on City Center, and they'll take their first flip.
First flip, and they have a long, you know, build-up of percentage to go, but the upside being that they didn't have to burn every ult in the reserves, right? Having that D.Va Bomb, a free remech tool most of the time, but, you know, if you could look for something offensively. Meanwhile, Zombie also still holding on to this Bob ultimate, you know, Bob, again, just another tank that gets some very nice, you know, so getting some buffs here and there, and it's becoming more and more powerful as both Bobs are now out on the field.
Yeah, this Hyper Ring is doing wonders for Eevee as this fight begins to flip on his head. Turtle Boy able to drop the Ashe early as that Bob from Ruby not going to find much value. And without Ruby in this fight, Demon Kittens, they're not going to take any space.
And so now this is just another fight reset, and you're seeing, you know, a switch Ruby over to the Cassidy now. Trying to punish, you know, potentially these aggressive guys, and Eevee showing that D.Va is still plenty fine with a Juno speed ring, actually taking out the entire backline.
Yep, both go down. Turtle Boy cleans up the rest. Zombie taking out Stat, and they're going to cross the 60% mark.
With a good team kill to boot, the only thing that you have to start being concerned about is now Turtle Boy has the only ultimate online being this Pulse Bomb. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, you have Pika Pepper having this Kitsune Rush. It's going to be a great engage tool to get onto the point and be able to stabilize there. And then whenever they want to come down onto the Orisa, the Terra Surge is there for disruption purposes. So it is going to be a tough fight here for Snowfall.
Alright, Turtle Boy looking for Pulse Bomb. Not going to find a target. Not going to find a kill there with that ultimate. The Kitsune Rush from Pika Pepper to engage, but it's a great fight here from YE Snowfall as they cross 90%. Eevee, less than half HP, needs to play it safe here, use that defense matrix well, keep them in the mech. The Terra Surge is out, and it's gonna turn Paradox to dust here in this early fight. Rawdogger able to open this fight up, and Demon Kittens are going to be able to deny YE Snowfall they're 100% there on Control Center. It's just going to be desperation touches, and as Turtle Boy goes down, he flies up, tries to stay in the mech. It's just going to be Demon Kittens able to grab this point.
And that's the thing, right? When you're able to build up to 99% like that first, you truly have all of the time in the world to sort of get the fight you want, as Demon Kittens displayed there. Snowfall, you know, they definitely won some fights. They were being conservative, but ultimately, you know, eventually your ult bank's gonna run out. You're going to find yourself at a disadvantage in one of those fights, and not being able to answer back is what led Demon Kittens to taking the round here. So now, you know, Snowfall, they're in a very similar situation still. They have to be the ones to come up with an answer to what Demon Kittens are running right now. This backline is very survivable, harder for the D.Va to jump, and especially now with the Cassidy in tow, there's not really, you know, somebody that Eevee can run on for free here. Meanwhile, Demon Kittens, they're more than happy to just hold space with our favorite metal horse.
Here we go, University for the decider here on Oasis. Demon Kittens rotating around through the mini health pack room as Whitey Snowfall. They're going to take control of their main side here as the Hyper rank comes out from Paradox, but it's a little far in the backline there. Can they follow up on it? The answer? It appears to be no. A lot of damage is being done by Whitey Snowfall, but there is just no follow-up here as without Paradox, there's not going to be much of a re-engagement tool.
And yeah, so now that's going to be the sound of retreat here. And, you know, this starts to, you know, call into question, right, how good is Juno? We saw how good the speedrun could be for enabling D.Va, but really, you know, can the hero heal and live up to the potential? It won't actually matter when the Orisa goes down like that.
Yeah, you're seeing the Cassidy buffs in full effect right there. They changed that, the impact damage of the flashbang is 75, even though the lockout's a little less time. But yeah, White Snowfall, take it back here.
They take it back in a very good way here now, especially looking towards their ult bank, right? They have a massive advantage across the board, already having the Deadeye online as well as this Pulse Bomb now. I mean, they really have the entirety of everything to play with here. It's going to be on Demon Kittens to find a response, and they're not going to find it too confidently.
The zombie with the Deadeye gonna just get speared right out of it. Ruby going to answer with one of their own now. Orbital strike out from Paradox, and it will be a great job there by Zombie to answer with the kill on Ruby. The sound barrier a little bit late here for the Demon Kittens. The Kitsune Rush to try and re-engage back in, but they're all just falling over like dominoes.
And that is actually such a tragic commit of that Kitsune Rush, because now that's just not a tool you're going to have going forward here. Meanwhile, Snowfall, you know, again, they're conserving what they need. They're investing only where they need to in these fights. They're still having the rally online, as well as this free remake whenever Eevee needs it. You know, Demon Kittens have a bit of a combo of their own. We saw what they can do with the Terra Surge combined with this Pulse Bomb in the last round here, but connecting it onto this composition, it's going to be a little bit harder unless you're able to find those, you know, vulnerable supports.
And well, they tried to jump on it to Ruby there, just going to get pushed back by the spear spin of that Orisa recall force out there. And the answer to the Terra Surge is the rally from Blossom, so they're going to re-engage her with that rally. The Fortify still is in effect for Raw Dogger, but it's not going to be enough as, you know, D.Va still has that ridiculous amount of damage even without the speed boost, so it will be enough to get it done, and Eevee loses the mech, but it's not going to matter.
I mean, it could matter. There could be a touch here, you know, ultimately getting back in the mech here. It's definitely sad. You already see lining up for a touch that's going to give Demon Kittens a chance to get in and get a proper final fight, as you're already seeing.
Alright, Not has to use the recall there, which Zombie just folds him like an omelet! Dead! The Tracer, they have no consistent lane touches here for the side of Demon and Kittens. The Deadeye not going to be able to find a kill, but it's going to be more than enough damage for Whitey Snowfall to lock up map number 1.
A bit of a back and forth here, but yeah, they just rely on what they've been playing, make a little bit of an adaptation where you bring the Cassidy back into the mix instead of something like the Ashe. That's the great thing about hit scan players. If you can play one hit scan, you can play them all. As we saw here with Zombie, more than happy to go over to our favorite Cowboy, and that's able to give Snowfall this first map in the series. I do like the Orisa comps. I'm an Orisa, fan, as they say. But there is just something a little bit missing, a little bit of urgency, and there wasn't as many ways to mitigate the damage, especially with a Lucio Kiriko backline. So that might be an adjustment that Demon Kittens have to look forward to as we're heading into our second map.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even know that the bug was the speed boosting thing, but I still think that D.Va has just an insane output of damage, devoid of the hyper ring. She does so much with the micro missiles, her shotguns, everything she does just can fold a support in a split second, even without that speed boost. I'm really not surprised that they're still committed to playing this D.Va. Eevee looks very, very confident, and when they weren't on the D.Va was when they looked their worst on map number 1. As soon as they did the switch, they looked like a different team. And so now going into map number 2, which is going to be King's Row, I'm not 100% they stay on the D.Va. I wouldn't be surprised, but with the changes being what they have been, I'm not really sure what they're going to roll out on here. Maybe we see the Roadhog again?
I think it's going to be very map dependent, and that's sort of, that's how Overwatch is getting back to a very good place, right? Instead of one comp being dominant everywhere, being able to sort of look at things in a very objective way of, okay, what's going to be good on this map, right? Oasis, very good at dive, sort of being able to enable jumping onto people. The map's close quarters, not as many flank routes that you'd want to take. Meanwhile, when you're starting to look towards other maps, right, where can you enable some of these other compositions, right, where you maybe want to brawl a little bit more, not just Orisa. You can look at Reinhardt, Ramatra, things of that nature. Or, heck, even we have maps in our pool that support poke compositions, like we were talking about at the top. Hanzo can one-shot again. That's going to be the headline everywhere. Double Sniper is back on the menu if you can find a map with enough long range to work with it. But again, it just comes down to if these teams have actually practiced these comps, or if it's, they've been just sort of so stuck trying to follow the meta time and again that they sort of maybe got left behind with some of them.
Yeah, you talk about the poke comp. I mean, we've got Havana as map number 5, so should it, go that far, I do definitely think that we could definitely see the Widowmaker Hanzo come back out with the Sigma. But for now, it's King's Row. We've got a couple of substitutions. Reveroni gonna come in here. It looks like a Warm and EVV coming in for YE Snowfall there. So obviously they want to change something up here on map number 2 on King's Row. I guess only time will tell with what they have actually cooked up.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess when you have a deep roster, subs like this aren't as crazy as you would think, especially when you're looking at Snowfall. But I mean, you won map 1, right? You almost sort of like start questioning the chemistry and what you exactly need to do. But to switch out 3 members after winning the map, it can put a damper on things. You're sort of almost resetting the momentum of the series as we know it. But yeah, I mean, King's Row, who knows, right? It's sort of, if you think old school, it's a brawl map, right? But as people have been able to prove time and again, the high ground across both the first and third point, Winston, D.Va, these dive compositions have been finding insane amounts of value that you have to take into account. So it is no longer this one-dimensional playing field that King's Row always was before. It's evolved despite not changing at all. The state of the game has evolved past the need to brawl at every single opportunity. And so far, I mean, you can't count out Snowfall on a dive.
Yeah, they looked really damn good on map number 1 on that D.Va. And yeah, I do fully agree. It is really, really cool, having watched and played Kings Row for so many years, watching its evolution from that hardline brawl with the Rhine Diva, and watching it evolve into a map that can be whatever you want it to be. And Whitey Snowfall are actually coming out on the traditional composition. Maybe, not the way that you would see it originally. The Junkrat is a little bit silly, but Demon Kittens, they are flexing the flexibility there with Raw Dogger on the Winston in the spawn.
Well, they're still in spawn. Their composition is a little bit mismatched. I feel like there's going to be some swaps that happen. Snowfall, if I was looking at this composition, I feel like I would expect this on a map like Midtown, where you can sort of play with the double flex, a little bit stronger, right? Because you see double flex boards, you think, oh, that's going to be a lot of healing. No, you're really going to be incorporating them as extra damage healing. Oh my, what is this pin?
It is what it is. Eevee is going to go down here. It was an attempt, I suppose, from the Reinhardt of White Snowfall. They're out. They're gone.
It was like a bait play, right? But Junkrat's, wait, hang on, Junkrat's still going.
What? They killed two. They need the score here, and Eevee is going to return here very, very soon, having gone over to the Zarya. So now the fight gets interesting from here as Eevee pops those bubbles. They've shown their willingness to shoot those bubbles before. It doesn't look like that's going to change now. Dynamite out from Raven as the re-engagement comes through from Raw Dogger. Not even a tick given up despite the 2 kills coming through for the Demon Kittens. And Raven is able to get the better of their opposite number in the Ash Duel. The Ice Block from Reveroni not going to be enough to keep Demon Kittens in this fight. And Whitey Snowfall able to come back and take this fight the way that they want to.
I mean, that's absolutely ludicrous. The fact that they were able to turn that where Eevee just pinned into nowhere to all of a sudden, being able to match ult charge with the other tank despite having to make a hardcore swap like that is just insane. So now Snowfall, they're on a bit of a different comp, and Demon Kittens, they're going to be looking to wall off this Zarya and go forward to the Kitsune Rush, but I don't know if they can get that value.
Kitsune Rush is out. Turn Boy is cutting people in half, left and right. For the Genji of Whitey Snowfall, and they look dominant.
It was literally a blink and you miss it fight. They go in with the Kitsune Rush. They have this confidence behind them, Demon Kittens. And, Snowfall immediately shows them why they shouldn't have been confident. We grab it. Okay, that's a simple prediction. That's something you'd see on, like, Hanamura back in the day, where you're trying to, like, bait your opponent into walking into the trap. I mean, it could be BM.
I think, yeah. I mean, as Alarm takes on Reveroni, this Amp Matrix comes out, the damage is just too much. And you talked about at the beginning of this map, these two teams, they don't like each other. And Eevee thinks that they're better.
Yeah, I mean, currently, the beef, it was nice and back and forth on Oasis, but this has been Snowfall, pretty much the entire time here. But, Snowfall, they're about to have to worry about a snowstorm of their own here. Blizzard, wait, the blizzards are going on. Eevee is
worthless. The bubbles come out. Eevee does end up going down. Bob frozen by the blizzard there. It's going to deny a little bit of space as the Dragonblade comes out. The Bob is able to take down Raw Dogger. And it's Raven keeping them in this fight even as Eevee ends again. Several times.
And now he's over to the Winston. There's still a captive stun in the wings. Demon Kittens, they're down below a minute. They're going to be building towards both of their support ults as well as a Bob of their own here. So this has to be their fight. They have a good ult advantage. They have the resources to make it work. They just can't die to this dive.
Halo throws out the sound barrier as Bob comes in for Ruby. They grab their tick as the Captive Sun comes out from Teggy. Are they able to clean up the damage to get those kills, though? The answer, it appears to be no here. Raven trying to do something from that high ground, but it's not going to be enough as Demon Kittens have finally found their footing here. It only took everything that they had.
I mean, it was that was just a very interesting way for that point to end. Demon Kittens, they'll get the added time into the bank, as well as being able to hold on to this Kitsune rush right now with Raw Dogger coming up on a Graviton Surge. You know, you're going to have a bit of a snowball potential here for Demon Kittens to try to make up for some of that lost time on point A. You know, Snowfall, they don't have any resources at the current moment in terms of their ultimate, so it is just going to be, you know, raw dive coming through here, trying to potentially follow up on some dynamite damage from Raven here. Could be their go button.
Well, there is the dynamite damage, and there is the follow-up. The Kitsune Rush is the answer, and Turtle Boy is just eviscerated. That Kitsune Rush is too much, and Demon Kittens saw the engagement happen and responded to it beautifully with the Pika Pepper Kitsune Rush.
Absolutely. Wait, I just realized this is Snowfall. The Baptiste is sitting behind them. What, like, this is just such odd positioning, but also at the same time, the BAP is stuck here. There's no path out where, you know, Demon Kittens can't find you and make sure that you're not going forward. So now Snowfall is going to have to try to fight this fight without their BAP for at least a majority of it.
As engagement comes out, they know there's no jump for this. Winston going to get frozen up. Bob enters here. Gonna find a lot of damage here as Turtle Boy. Oh my goodness. The Genji is on a rampage, as is Raven for that matter.
As I said, chucking in the Bob, even losing Eevee, it didn't matter. Snowfall, again, you know, their namesake has allowed them to live through 2 blizzards so far. And I start to question the May pick a little bit here for Reveroni. There's not really anything good to wall off unless you're zoning the supports or something of that nature. But I guess too little too late. You gotta commit to what you're on at this point. Scouting out, finding Turtle Boy, not allowing that Genji to sit in the backline. Good move from Kylo, but now we gotta follow it up with actual kills.
Yep, Eevee just, you know, walking in there, jumping out immediately, pops the primal rage, the backline juggles down Ruby! One pick for the scientist here as this Kiriko uses the cleanse, Pika Pepper thrown away there, but there will be a trade. Teggy gets the, taken down there by...
69.
Guys? Point? Point, guys?
It's just C9. Demon Kittens get that going into point C now with some extra picks. You know, coming through, they're traded back and forth here at the end of the day. But, you know, it is what it is here. Snowfall, looking forward to these next fights. Both teams having a DPS ult and a support ready to go. But Eevee taken down means that this payload's going to get a lot of progress going for it.
Yep. Nice little stagger there on to the Winston, but there are a couple of crucial ultimates here. Eevee gonna switch over to the Doomfist here. Yeah, baited us a little bit. We're gonna go over to the Zarya now to try and match this for Raw Dogger. And now we are going to see the re-engagement here from YE Snowfall. They have the Dragon Blade ready to go as Bob comes out from Ruby. Gonna try and build up to one of Ravens there. To try and answer that. The Kitsune Rush out from the side of the Demon Kid. Bob thrown in now by Raven as well. And the damage is done there. The Dragon Blade didn't really find much of anything, but it doesn't really matter now that YE Snowfall have finally found their footing here on C.
I mean, it does matter a little bit, because now you're lacking resources for Final Fight. Now you're over to the Widowmaker. You're seeing Snowball try to play up here to not even allow a touch onto that payload, knowing that there's so much limited time left here. And I think they'll actually get their wish. I don't think anyone's going to make it to the stage.
Yeah. He burns down a Ruby, and with 3 seconds left, they're just going to try and confirm the kills that they can get, as they are denied from even getting to... not even the cart, but the point. They can't get on the sea. And now they have a very, very good win condition here for YE Snowfall. That's not even, you know, right. That's not even at the end. It's like right around the second corner.
To be fair, considering how that map was starting, I think Demon Kittens, they're more than happy with that level of progress, being able to get as far into point C. You know, there's plenty of holdable points across, you know, first and second point here for Demon Kittens, but you know, you have to just sort of wonder how much of that was, you know, being able to grab themselves, pull themselves together, and how much was Snowfall doing a little bit of trolling. You know, I definitely saw the Baptiste in the back line once or twice. Eevee definitely had some interesting plays. But you can't think about that if you're Demon Kittens. You just got to think about we play our game, and they're actually playing in a very interesting way where they're going to now try to mirror the backline of the Bapiari to try to put out that insane amount of damage that we saw Snowfall doing.
I've known a few of you.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, the Raw Dogger Zarya has looked pretty good, admittedly. And I can imagine that Eevee's not going to enjoy seeing that now coming out on the Diva potentially. But I guess that will just have to be a matter for about 30 seconds from now. As the doors unlock, Eevee actually goes over to the Reinhardt immediately. Heard the Zarya, just stomping around, and goes over to the Reinhardt to try and swing it through those bubbles. As the TP comes out, the Reinhardt dive is in effect here. Eevee backing down, finds a nice little fire strike there. A lot of damage out from those 2 fire strikes. The bubbles now expended by this Zarya of Raw Dogger. And with Turtleboy going down, Eevee is just gonna end them. There's a Torbjorn behind!
What? Well, no, they're on defense. It's not behind. They were backing up. Well, wait, no. They're on attack. I'm completely tripping. The icons are. I am crazy. Ignore me. Demon Kittens are on the defense. With Snowfall being on the offense here. So that Torbjorn is flanking in a behind position, and Eevee has killed Reveroni.
Okay, yeah, so there's a trade. Reagan finally gets chased down in the backline of the Demon Kittens. There is Eevee just absolutely gluing down the shift key, or I guess that would be like L1 for them right now. This is just absolutely devolved into the chaos at the moment. Eevee gets taken down, and it's like they don't even care.
This is... I feel like we're watching Deathmatch, which is confusing. Like, I feel like there just needs to be a call for regroup. There has to be a moment for Snowfall here where they realize that they are getting too silly. A lot of healing needs to come through on the Raw Dogger after seeing
Oh my
Shadow
god,
gets
dude. Eevee, the Shadow hits too, but there's nobody to follow up with it. Like, Eevee knew that they were absolute. Just goes down anyway, now over to the Zarya. Ooh, nice shot. Okay, looks like YE Snowfall isn't really done just yet with Kylo going down. Now gonna try and walk forward is this Widowmaker. Turtle Boy again! Just removing heads left and right, getting burned down by the Zarya. Ruby appeared. Ruby appeared, Turtle Boy disappeared. Magic trick right there performed by Ruby as this Widowmaker on the other side now for Demon Kittens is gonna do it, and they don't touch the point. They had numbers and they don't touch the point.
So, I don't know how many C9s have happened on Kings Row right now, but it feels like it's higher than 1. And that's like starting to...
I think we're at 3.
Yeah, I don't really know what is going on in this match at this point. What I do know is Demon Kittens have a chance to stabilize their defense here. They have 2 very good support ults to work with. But, you know, Snowfall, they're trying to push this aggression, trying to push their advantage right now. And Raven is pushed up so far, so low HP on this Torbjorn, having to grab the Mega Pack, despite your Bat piece being right there.
Well, now we're going to see the Captured Sun out from the side of Demon Kittens. Going to find a target there on the Turtle Boy. I don't know if you noticed, went over to the Bastion there. Eevee throws out the Graviton Surge. Not really going to find a target. I mean, I guess it does. The Molten Flow was a little late, but it's good enough? No, not really. I don't know what's happening, man.
Okay, so what's currently happening is Demon Kittens need to back up. Like, the Zarya should not be here. I understand being high charge, but you do not have your team with you. You need to reset, and instead of resetting, you're just kind of peeking into a Bastion Diva and making a very silly play, if I do say so myself. But now your team's back. You somehow did survive the storm. And you're going to get a chance to use this Graviton Surge here. You just can't chuck it into the matrix of the Diva. It's going to be the hard thing to do here as the Captain Sun comes out on the other.
Captain Sun is out, and the follow-up is immediate there. Raven cleans up a couple, Turtle Boy a couple himself. And I mean, for all of the faults that YE Snowfall are giving to themselves, they're managing to make up for it with pure mechanical brilliance.
Yeah, I mean, there was also, you know, the Captive Sun and the Amplification Matrix to live through a crash.
Yeah, but,
you know,
but Raven's taking shots.
yeah, there is just some mechanical advantages that they have here. And so now Eevee, doing the under trick to get back over. You know, a little bit of a flex, if you will. Demon Kittens, you know, they have a chance to stabilize on their defense here. They're coming up towards their Mei ult. Otherwise, there's not really an ult for either side. And Eevee actually pushed off the map here, but Raven hits another.
Yeah, another great headshot there from Raven, even without Eevee. They're still not trying to back down. Yeah, Eevee being called out. Just doing stuff in this lobby right now. I can't guarantee that it's good or bad. But stuff is being done. As the shots continue to come through, this airstrike out from it. Turtle Boy's going to try to find a target here as Swipey Snowfall continues to crawl closer and closer towards this golden box here. As Raw Dogger only 90% to the self-destruct, loses the mech here. There is a trade, Turtle Boy for Pika. As the self-destruct comes out, doesn't find the target for Eevee. Gets back in it to the mech. Will get frozen though. There will be a couple of kills here. And it will be enough to keep Demon Kittens above the water for the time being.
Yeah, being able to stabilize like that is so massive, right? That Blizzard coming in at a very clutch moment when Eevee didn't have mech, so there was no chance to eat for that, you know, for that ultimate. That being said, you're coming into this, there's some more swaps coming through. Snowfall now onto a Zenyatta as well as a Roadhog here. Being able to take Raw Dogger out of mech, forcing the bomb. Ruby really needs to get these sites online and be able to mirror it, just so the Raven doesn't have all these free chances that they have been having.
Well, there is the site from the other side, the later ultimate. Usually the better one is Eevee is on the Roadhog now. So we'll see if this is going to work out for them as the sights fade away for Ruby. Turtle Boy just eviscerates Reveroni. Now the Captive Sun out from Kylo. They need to find a target. They're going to find one in the Roadhog. Unfortunately, that's not the best one to hit with that ultimate. If you're going to hit anything as Teggy comes back to spawn, Raven able to pop Ruby here. The dueling and Matrixes trying to find something going. Turtle Boy on a cheeky little angle as Eevee. I'm genuinely curious how many deaths does he have right now.
I will say it is a number that is in the double digits. But
It has to
again,
be.
Raven just holding these angles, but Raw Dogger finally being able to punish it thanks to Eevee being on the Roadhog. Not having to focus as much in this Diva mirror is really allowing Raw Dogger to sort of go crazy here. And as we're dipping below 30 seconds, Fletch, I mean, Snowfall, they've made some swaps. I feel like they've gotten too silly, and now they're running out of time.
Yeah, Raven on a keepy angle here. Sees the Widow, but not able to hit the shot there. Held that crosshair a little bit too high for where Ruby was holding there. Now Reveroni with this Blizzard. You're not on that super maneuverable Diva anymore. Eevee not quite going to get caught out by the Blizzard, but with 7 seconds left, it's going to deny some kind of space, and not going down into that pit is the Diva here. Now the Captive Sun from Kylo to try and figure something out here. Turtle Boy has the touch on the cart. Eevee taking so much damage now. The Transcendence from Teggy going to keep them up, and Raven gets the better of Ruby here. And it looks like it's YE Snowfall's map to lose right now. It's their fight to lose. And as Turtle Boy cleans up these kills, it will be YE Snowfall taking King's Row in the most way possible.
I mean, that was absolutely astonishing for a final fight. Being able to kite the Blizzard and then, you know, still having a touch onto the cart thanks to your Tracer, and being able to go from there to slowly turn the fight, using the whole hog to disrupt the Captive Sun, not allow the follow-up to connect. I mean, it truly was just sort of some absolutely crazy plays that sort of strung together there that allowed Snowfall to take this map. But also, I mean, like you just saw in that play of the game, Turtle Boy, oh my goodness gracious, that is disgusting Genji gameplay.
Yeah, that was gross. What was also gross was whatever the hell that map was, frankly. But the other kind of gross
like the play of the game there from Turtle Boy was the good gross. The map overall was the kind of bad one that's like, ew, that's kind of yucky. I don't want to touch that anymore. Why did Snowfall get the job done? I guess. I just think that this is an ego thing. That, you know, you talked about these teams, they don't like each other very much, and Whitey, Snowfall, they believe that they're just simply better and that they don't have to try to beat Demon Kittens. And I mean, Demon Kittens, for what it's worth, did make it very, very close, took it all the way to overtime. But at the moment, it seems like they're validating Whitey Snowfall's ego over them in this grudge match, because they can't keep up with the shenanigans.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's that age-old proverb, right, where you never want to try to verbally duel with somebody who is just dumber than you, right? Because they're going to drag you down to their dumb level and then just beat you with experience. We saw those comps, you know, they were getting a little bit silly, like you were saying, Fletch, but hey, listen, if it worked at the end of the day, that's all Snowfall has to care about, because like you said, it's an ego thing for them. But that being said, you know, for two teams with beef, on the other side of this break that's about to come up, there is clash, and I mean, what better way to clash together with a beef than on Clash, you know?
Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break here, and when we come back, we will have Throne of Anubis. That'll be really, really interesting. So stick around. Should be a lot of fun.
Lots of love. Lots of love. 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 Love.
Alright, welcome back, everybody. We had an interesting one thus far. Slighty Snowfall up 2-0 over their rival Demon Kittens. Okay, so this is going to be a first for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
I have barely even played the Clash, let alone casted it. This will be a first time. I have no clue.
Well,
The flow of this game mode.
Well, that's the great thing. I can give you a quick little rundown for you and any viewers at home in case you're wondering, what is this? So basically, you start with a center point. It's 5 points lined up in a row here. Actually, we'll take a quick look at substitutions before I yap about Clash. You have Paradox and Roxy coming in. So another new support line. Or I think this is back to the original support line from map 1. I don't know. There's like 12 players on both these rosters. There's so much talent in the console gaming league. What'd you say, Fletch?
Blossom was in on map 1.
That's true. That's true, and that is
with
smart.
Paradox.
But anyway, so Clash, you have 5 points all lined up in a row. You start at the middle point, point C as it is referred to. Both teams attempting to attack it and capture it. Once a point is captured, then it will move in, one direction or the other, depending on which team captures it, since we're on opposite ends of the map. But an interesting little change they made to Clash that maybe if you played the original test of it a few seasons back, but you haven't played it since it officially came out, that final point on either end of the map, points A and E, they actually capture 1 tick at a time. So because you're trying to get to that overall goal of 5 points, instead of having to try to completely capture a point in, when you're 2 feet away from the enemy spawn, instead you just got to capture 1 tick at a time to try to get those points up and get to that 5-point goal. So any way you can do that, it's going to be amazing for these teams. Fast-paced is going to be the name of the game on this mode. That's why you're seeing 2 Junos locked and loaded here, going to be giving their team all of the speed that you could ever ask for. But actually, Kylo's going to go over to the Lucio here. So the Lucio Curie backline, again, trying to be able to stabilize and survive what they know is coming, which is going to be an aggressive Eevee.
Alright, well, the punch is coming through, but Eevee not able to, or just able to take down Reveroni there. Great punches early here as Raven enters the back line of the Demon Kittens. Reveroni not super happy with that kill, I can imagine, but Eevee is going to go down here in a beautiful tracking there from Raven to drop Kylo with a backhand there. Now, wow, Raven just absolutely ravaging this backline. Is why Snowfall is going to lock up the first point very, very quickly.
Yeah, this is a quick game mode, blink and you miss it sort of situation here. And so now with these extra picks coming through, you're already seeing, Snowfall. They're pushing a little bit deep past point D here that you're seeing is about to unlock in a few seconds, because they just want to get more stagger kills just to make this point unlock that much easier for them, as now they're going to get it going. And Demon Kittens, they have to stabilize, try to get back in here, potentially with his Venture Dig being able to buy a little bit of time.
But Turtle Boy just on the flank! I mean, that's, the point's already halfway up here. Turtle Boy will go down. But right now with this far pushed up as Whitey Snowfall is, and the distractions and the CC and the pushing, they're already at 2 points, and now into the spawn of the Demon Kittens they go.
Yeah, but Raven being removed from the fight should hopefully, give this defense finally a chance to stabilize. They have some ultimates to work with on both sides of this equation here, but it's going to be the touch coming through from Eevee to start this fight.
Now Paradox goes up the rally. Roxy follows it up with the Orbital Strike. Eevee threw in the Meteor Strike as well, and is able to slam down Kylo early. See the May getting away, trying to cut off that left side. A big grab, but an even bigger wall there from Turtle Boy. They're going to try and follow up with this Blizzard. And it will be good for one and only one here for the moment, as this point continues to get pressured, as White Snowfall does not want to back down. Oh, but they finally will. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Ooh, Eevee back in.
Eevee back in, punches the Venture there, the Blizzard throwing it down. This Zarya, they're not able to break the bubble there. And then so with as far pushed as Demon Kittens are through this point, they're going to be able to grab their first point here.
Being able to grab their first point, because again, they're only down 1 right now, 2-1 the score at the top of your screens. And now with those extra picks as well, they're going to be able to set up in a very favorable defensive position here to recapture point D, as you're seeing Demon Kittens trying to send it back the other way. Having this amplification matrix as well as the rally already popped online, sending Eevee spiraling to their demise.
Eevee just taken down so quickly. The Demon Kittens are very, very comfortable on this point as Raven creeps across the top. You see Turtle Boy and Raven wanting to go in here. Pulse Bomb is out, not going to find a target there. The Ant Matrix is thrown down by Pika Pepper. And now the Demon Kittens are going to be able to even the score here as they come surging right back to the middle of the map.
Absolutely, and getting some more extra picks. Again, they're going to be able to set up in a favorable defensive position. Snowfall, finally starting to end up paying for their over-aggression here. They're being punished for it, right? Eevee actually can't just do whatever they want as they've been doing all series long. They actually have to give some respect to their opponents, which I think means that, Demon Kittens, they're doing the correct adaptations so far. Now heading into the next fight, you're going to see the Tectonic Surge here, but you got to make sure to live through the Meteor Strike first.
Meteor Strike down, Pika Pepper, not so lucky, has to live through it. Great pick there onto the back piece of White Snowfall, beginning their assault on point C one more time. Raw Dogger is able to find a pick, and needing that blocking will do so much. Can they touch the point? They get the touch through the burrow of the Venture here. Now the Tectonic Shock out from Ruby. The point is being denied and now pushed up for Demon Kittens, going the other way.
And again, another punish on the Eevee is what's getting Demon Kittens some more point progress. The Doomfist back into the fight, though, means that this next one's going to be a bit of a brawl.
What was that you were saying about a Doomfist being in this fight? Eevee taken down the first again. Raw Dog are able to clean up a couple of kills, and now they're surging. They take the lead. They move to point B.
They take the lead, and now, like you said, they're able to do it in a very solid manner here, and actually, you know, forcing Snowfall to adapt. Eevee over to the Zarya now, no longer on this Doomfist, realizing that the time is just up on that hero. Snowfall is going to be able to engage with this Orbital Strike.
Alright, the grab is out, but Eevee is able to answer with 2 of their own. The trades are coming through, but it's 3 right now for Whitey Snowfall. 3 now for Demon Kittens as well. The Blizzard try and come in and clean up this fight, and it will, as Turtle Boy puts down their opposite number there, and Whitey Snowfall going to even up the score as we head, right back on to point C.
Right back to the middle, but Snowfall had to invest both support ultimates and the Blizzard into that. Meanwhile, Demon Kittens, just trading out their grab in their own Blizzard, so being able to get that 1+1 ult advantage and coming into this next one with both of your support ults online, as you're seeing for Demon Kittens. I mean, they have a solid advantage here. They just have to actually be able to utilize it without getting picked first in this fight.
Alright, Raven has this Pulse Bomb ready to go. Rally's going to come out. Pulse Bomb going to find Casper there, unfortunately, for Raven. Now, Paradox has to back down in the face of the rally from Kylo. The point not going heavily in either direction just yet. Raven chased down and able to stay alive with the help of that recall. Ruby in the sky. Unfortunately, there is no dirt for that venture to get under when you are up that high, taken down, and Whitey Snowfall on map point.
On map point now, there's no more room for Demon Kittens to give. The, getting Graviton that quickly for Eevee was a massive advantage for them to take that. Now the wall denying the amplification matrix, and again, there's still time here. Demon Kittens, they pop that incredibly early. The objective hasn't even unlocked, so nobody from Snowball has to come through the pressure just yet, but now they're coming through in spades.
As Tectonic Shock out from Ruby, still has a couple of charges left in this. Turns around, doesn't find anything with it. Now Blizzard out from Turtle Boy. Gonna try and find a trade, and will not able to get a kill on the Raw Dogger. Stays alive, a beautiful immortality cube, keeping the Zarya in this fight, and they are just slowly but surely building up to these impact ultimates. Raw Dogger throws out the grab, and unfortunately for Eevee, that orbital strike is just too damn far away, and now match point for both sides. It's 4-4.
4-4. Eevee incredibly close to this Graviton Surge. It could be the make or break point if Eevee goes down in this fight, or if they are able to build this Graviton. Rallies coming through on both sides mean that there's going to be plenty of sustain here. But again, this grab, it can be followed up on by pretty much every member of the team. The damage can be there. It's just about removing Eevee from the fight or helping Eevee live to get this one off.
Alright, Bubble out on it to the break. Paradox needs to stay alive if they want to win this fight. Both rallies are invested here. Eevee, 96% is the Graviton Surge right now. This could be the dagger, but Kylo throws the whip shot into the face of Raven. The grab denied a lot of that value by the wall of Reveroni, who has a Blizzard of his own, throws it in, and Whitey Snowfall are going to fall to the wayside here on a throne of Anubis. There might be one more chance for a desperation touch here, but I don't know that they will.
I think the Tracer's in position for it, but they're going to focus it down. And now the Wrecking Ball is trying to... Oh my gosh, that's like 0.1%.
That is a very, very good touch there by Eevee. Just able to get in, but Paradox has a hole put right through him by Ruby there, as it is a spin to win here from Eevee. And that will do it. The Demon Kittens get away with a close one here on Throne of Anubis.
I mean, close is an understatement, Fletch. That is a skin of your teeth moment here. But Demon Kittens, this is exactly what I wanted to see from them. They were able to adapt. They finally have actually started punishing the aggression from Eevee. And they've actually been forcing Eevee, to mirror, to finally give respect to, them as a team in these engagements. So, heading forward, Snowfall's plan of just playing around a super aggressive Eevee and, sort of not taking this match as seriously like we saw in King's Row, it might, come back to bite them. There has to be sort of a lock-in moment for Snowfall here. Otherwise, it could all start going to the wayside.
I mean, I also think that winning out like Snowfall did early on this map, it only benefits Demon Kittens.
The thing about Clash is that it is very, very hard to win the late when you're not on your own side, because the spawns are just so close. Because once YE Snowfall lost those or won those first 2 points, Demon Kittens just basically had the spawn advantage for the rest of the game, pretty much. The only time YE Snowfall won anything else was the 2 times that they capped out on their side on point B. Because they won those 2 points early, they were at a disadvantage for the rest of the game, and I think that that is a fundamental flaw of this game mode, frankly. But it's something that you've got to play around and figure out, do we want... Is this something that you've got to think about, like, where you have to throw a point to not just get thrown into the blender of the spawns?
I mean, yeah, like that's going to be sort of the major component. It's just sort of exactly what you need to do here. As we have more swaps coming through, Snowfall, again, they're just showing their deep roster. I believe it's just a graphical error. I promise I don't think Eevee has gone anywhere. But yeah, I mean, it's just, again, they're just flexing how deep their roster is. But oh, actually, Eevee is coming out, and they've put in a Zen on the tank role, so could be, you know, finally them wanting to lock in, maybe play a little bit more seriously, but only time can tell, right? Especially as I believe we're going to Flashpoint, so it could require, you know, maybe a specific comp lineup.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I think that they've had their fun. I think that they're ready to just put this away, because going into Surabasa, I can imagine that they probably still want to play this fast Diva, because I still think that that is where that they've looked their best, is on the Diva composition. I do not think that what we saw on King's Row was actually YE Snowfall at their best. I'm thinking either the Diva with Paradox going back on to the Juno that we saw on map number 1, or something like a Junker Queen, potentially, or some kind of variation of a Rush composition.
Well, that's the thing with, like, Survasa, right? Like, I feel like it does sort of foster that brawl sort of mindset, like you're talking about with, you know, Junker Queen compositions, Ramatra compositions, especially with, you know, something that's kind of gone under the radar with a lot of people talking about Diva and Juno and so much speed. You know, when we played Brawl, Mei was there. When we played against Diva, because she's the only thing to slow down Diva, Mei was there. Like, Mei has kind of sort of always been a presence, and especially with how these flashpoints are, they're so small, one Blizzard can take up the entire objective. So that could be something that either of these teams, they've shown that they like to lean into the Mei. We just have to see if they want to continue doing that, or if they've got something else planned.
Alright, well, it looks like my idea wasn't super far off. They're going to be running the Junker Queen here for YE Snowfall, and that's not really surprising to me. I think that with Diva, you know, taking the hits that she did, Junker Queen is more than allowed to come back into relevance. Because she kind of fell to the wayside for a little while. She used to just absolutely run the table on both of the Flashpoint maps, and over the past few months, she's kind of taking a step back to other tanks like Ramatra, like Diva. I'm not surprised at all that she's going to get a little more playtime here.
Well, yeah, again, another character where they casually will buff something here and there, some extra lifesteal coming through at some point, with the wound damage and things of that nature. But, you know, again, I harp on this because I am an Orisa head, but if you want to know how to counter a Junker Queen, just be an Orisa and just wait. If you don't waste your cooldowns on Orisa and you focus purely on the tank duel, you will beat a Junker Queen every time. You spear the axe swings, you push her away when she shouts, and then you fortify if you're worried about the shotgun damage, and you just shut down Junker Queen at every possible opportunity. But listen, I'm not gonna fight for more Orisa gameplay. We've gotten some. We can at least appreciate the Junker Queen for now. That being said as well, though, you know, so far only Snowfall opting into the Lucio, no speed boost to be seen for Demon Kittens, and speed really has been the meta for Flashpoint. So maybe just trying to rely on those spawn door speed boosts as they get into the matchup.
Alright, then up front sees the Zarya, sees what the Demon Kittens are planning, a big little axe there. Coming through, but Reveroni opens the fight up with a headshot there on it to Zombie. This Zarya is alone, but a great move, I would assume, from Kylo there to deny the follow-up damage to try and fully kill the Zarya, and Demon Kittens able to take this first fight.
Yeah, and I fully expect a little bit of a swap here, at least for Turtle Boy. The Torbjorn is such a greedy pick, and it's no swap coming through. But again, it's sort of a counter-picking dive opportunity for the Torbjorn. And when your opponent's not on dive, they're not playing anything like that. Like, the Torbjorn turret is actually going to hinder you. It's going to passively shoot the bubbles whenever Zarya ends up putting them out. You're going to try to play at range here, as you're seeing now with the Torb, but as soon as Demon Kittens find a chance to close that distance, there's going to be not really much the Torb can do.
Rawdogger doesn't have any bubbles right now. He is well below half HP, but Zen running into this back line, and Zombie from the top ropes able to just walk in and run right through the Demon Kittens, and Whitey Snowfall gonna find their first flip here on Flashpoint.
They find a flip crucially on Market here, as well as Demon Kittens actually investing the only ult into that fight with Pika Pepper using the amplification matrix. The Torbjorn just emoting after I talked all that smack. Oh well. And alright, you know what? Justified smack talk. The turret missed. And again, just shooting the bubbles. You see it right there. The Zarya has so much energy already.
Dirty bubble. Ruby jumps in there, gets the bubble out. Now Bob going to enter the back line of the Demon Kittens. And even if that Blizzard found any freezes, the Demon Kittens just were not alive long enough to follow up.
And you trade that, you trade the Blizzard for both Bob and Coalescence, which, again, Coalescence getting a bit of a shadow buff. Or not shadow buff, it was just a direct buff. I don't know what I'm talking about. But, you know, final fight of Market here, unless Demon Kittens can get a solid flip going. They're going to have the Graviton, the Death Blossom, and, you know, all they have to contend with, you know, the real major threat is going to be Zen with this Junker Queen Rampage, being able to apply that impact.
Alright, they know what we're
and they don't touch.
And now the rally out, and doesn't matter because Turtle Boy, one more time in this game, give him the Paradox, buddy, give your man the hammer kill. But I mean, Turtle Boy with another big play there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I talked smack about the Torb, and I'm being proven wrong time and again here. Turtle Boy might just be the GOAT of the Torbjorn. But, you know, again, just being able to apply that damage, it's working out well, being able to play these ranges here just because there's not as much range on the other side. And, again, being able to play
They know that there's a Torbjorn behind them!
They don't know. They didn't know.
I mean, Kylo was able to take down Turtle Boy, and Ruby found a beautiful Death Blossom there to kill 2 people, but Turtle Boy's just getting away with everything.
Yeah, the fact that the Torbjorn was able to sneak up that close before the back piece even thought about turning is just a crime. But, you know, the Demon Kittens, they do manage to get the first cap going. Something, you know, again, just the patch to come through today that we don't really talk about. Zen did get buffed, and it seems like, oh, it's only 2 points of damage, not that big. It changes his kill threshold by quite a bit to where you can do a lot with the Rampage.
Yeah, beautiful Rampage hits 3 there. Bubbles come out from Rawdogger, but that bleed damage is not enough to keep Zen up. But Paradox with the red at Lucio, able to take down 2 himself. Make that 3 for Paradox, and Whitey Snowfall going to be able to take that fight.
And so now it forces some swaps. Demon Kittens, they've now gone over. You have Ruby on the Ashe as well as a Junker Queen of your own in play. And Pika Pepper actually going over to the Kiriko here. So Kiriko Zen, I feel like, is not going to be the intended outcome of this backline here. You're just sort of having Kylo pilot this, use the Transcendence for this fight. But already Reveloni's down.
Sound barrier out in response to the Transcendence from Kylo, and I mean, Whitey Snowfall put their starting tank in, and they just are set out to prove that we were just messing around before. That was why it was close.
I mean, that's certainly one way to view it here. As Demon Kittens, they're probably not going to get another touch on this point. just because of the nature of Flashpoint here. But that means that they're going to have to pull off a reverse sweep here to get this Flashpoint map in their favor. They do have a speed boost now. Kylo is going to be piloting Juno. Actually swapped over to the Lucio, deciding that just, you know, more consistent speed at all times is going to be a little bit better here, as now everybody's rotating around the map. The Torbjorn flanking once again. Do they actually realize and address it this time, or are they just not going to care that Torb's in their backline with a hammer?
Well, let's see. Turtle Boy gonna get caught out there. Does get caught out by a Ruby. But unfortunately, Robert from the back line is Zombie's on a 20-player kill streak. That's crazy. Blizzard's gonna come out from Reveroni. He's gonna find 2 freezes actually, which is way more than I expected that to get it, because they were right on the edge of that Blizzard. But unfortunately for White and Snowfall, they will be losing out on this point just in sheer numbers, as Raw Dogger wants to put that away and keep it away.
Yeah, I mean, having to invest the Rampage on top is just sort of, you know, that necessary secure in that scattered fight. But yeah, it is super important to get that first cap there, right? Give yourself the chance, start building that percentage up. And again, this Torbjorn is just being a little gremlin. Turtle Boy, surely they've caught on to your antics. You're not going to be able to keep getting away with potentially another flank Molten Core here.
Alright, well, the wall has already been used by Reveroni, but even with this Molten Core out, I would hazard to say that there's not really much of anything that Demon Kittens can do.
No.
As Turtle Boy rips them 2, just somehow, I guess. Yeah, that might as well be the case.
Yeah, it might as well. That's what it feels like here. Now, super crucial is the fact that Pika Pepper is on the Here We Go, right? Because now Zen's Rampage is not as guaranteed, not as free here. But there is actually a bit of a wait here. You may get caught out.
Yeah, May all along.
Oh!
What a beautiful boot there by Kylo! That tank passive getting exploited there. Got nerfed. Zen goes for a swim with the crocodiles, and Demon Kittens are on the board on Surabasa.
They're on the board in a very good way at the right time here. They still got 2 more points to go before they can consider this map theirs, but that is a beautiful way to start out. You know, now that they've been able to stabilize, sort of, you know, make the adaptations needed to sort of address what they were playing into here. And now they're actually going to have what seems to be an advantage heading to this point as well. They are going to be met with a Jungle Queen on the other side, but whether they're aware of it or not, all of Snowfall's not on this point yet.
Very, very soon they will be joining them as Zen just continues to take knives to the side there from Raw Dog. Zen needs to find something big with this Rampage. The knife out on it to the May. As the Blizzard comes out, there's just going to be a quick, tight shout speed boost. Get the knife out, the Rampage comes out. Unfortunately, it only hits Reveroni. Just deny that with the Ice Block. Get the sound barrier out now. Bob coming in from Zombie. The Rampage only hitting Bob there, unfortunately, as this fight is just so expensive for the Demon Kittens, and they just can't win.
No, they cannot. Oh, the hammer kill!
No way!
Finally, Turtle Boy comes up with it, gets the hammer kill onto Raw Dog. Oh, that's not how you want this to go, because now 50% Demon Kittens, oh, they're pushing into an impossible situation. There's a Molten Core, and I was going to say a Coalescence, but Ruby actually could be the difference maker here.
Down there early, as there's still a Torbjorn behind you. At what point do you think, hey, let's go ahead and start spy checking for a Torbjorn? Like, Paradox is able to put Reveroni down there. There were trades abound here, but with this Junker Queen as low as they are, Raw Dogger just getting shoved into a corner here as White Snowfall crosses the 90% mark as the buffed Coalescence rips through the Junker Queen, and Whitey Snowfall able to confirm the 3-0, or 3-1 rather, onto Demon Kittens here in the match ever, for sure. Turtle Boy exists, guys. They just kept forgetting.
That's what blows my mind is, you know, Turtle Boy, like, I'd love to say that these were some ingenious flanks. It was a Sombra, the Invis, you couldn't see it. It's a Torbjorn, and Turtle Boy didn't, it wasn't like I'm gonna do it once and then never think about it again and catch you off guard. It was every single engagement the Torbjorn hid behind or walked behind every single time, and nobody thought to be like, hey, check this corner real quick and see if there's a Torb here. Like, the fact that that adjustment never came through really shows why Snowfall was the better team on the day here. Demon Kittens, they were able to come away with that, I was gonna say Flashpoint, that Clash map, and then, still making some of these other maps look competitive and look close, arguing how hard people were trying. That's neither here nor there. They were close maps, those first two maps. But yeah, so now just another regular season match in the books. Snowfall getting a win in Demon Kittens, going to have to just sort of take that one to the VOD review.
Yeah. Why Snowfall? They're going to be a good team in this tournament. I don't think we saw them today, frankly. I think that when they are not trolling, they definitely can be one of the best teams. If they go up against a team that is willing to turn around, they're going to struggle if they do this, right? I don't believe that we saw the real YE Snowfall tonight. And it was still more than enough to take out the Demon Kittens. I mean, that should show you how strong this YE Snowfall team is they're not taking this seriously at all, and they still get the win dominantly.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, there were, like, Demon Kittens did adapt. They started punishing the silliness, and they forced,
They
Snowfall.
couldn't turn around and kill the small man behind them!
Okay. The Torbjorn, yes. Flashpoint was bad. But considering how Eevee was playing, they finally started punishing Eevee. That's how they won on Clash. There was adaptation. Demon Kittens was learning. They just have to learn and adapt further, and they still have a whole regular season to do it. We're just in week 2. Plenty of time to make Snowfall look mortal, but yeah, Fletch is right. I mean, they didn't look mortal this evening. They subbed out half their roster every single map, and were doing some shenanigans, and they were still able to come away with a pretty confident dub. So Snowfall is going to be one of the teams here in the console open that you want to keep your eyes on if you're a fan at home.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. It's very early in the season. It's week 2, right?
Mhm.
They're only 1-1 for the Demon Kittens. It's nothing to absolutely lose your mind about. The Torbjorn is. I think that I'm valid for thinking that's insane. Because Frank, this isn't me saying that Demon Kittens is a bad team, because they're not. They are a good team. At some point, in order to be a great team, you have to recognize where you're falling short. And when you're falling that short, about as tall as Torbjorn, it's hard to justify at some point.
I feel like the thing going through my head is like the new Eminem, one of the new Eminem songs where he's making a lyric and he's just like, oh, people have had it up to here with me, and he's indicating how short they are with his hand, just for Torbjorn. But hey, listen, you can't be too negative. It's fine.
There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time to learn.
There's a lot of time. You got mid-season tournament in a couple of weeks. After that, you got the rest of the regular season. You got years to learn how to look and turn around for a Torbjorn. But also, again, Snowfall, like, just to quickly say, like, they did drop a map. Like, their trolling can be punished, and if they troll too much on the wrong day, maybe they don't have the full roster there, they don't adapt quickly enough to locking back in, like, that becomes a dangerous little road to travel. That's all I'm gonna say.
I will say, I think that YE Snowfall lost. They lost the Clash map. They lost their own. I don't think it was because, Demon Kittens, they obviously clutched up. I think that this was as close as it was because both of these teams don't really understand how Flash works, and I don't either. It's still such a brand new game mode that I think it's a lot like what we saw with Flashpoint when Flashpoint came out, where it is the map type that will come in and be kind of a jumping point for a lot of matches. You'll be down 0-2, and you'll get this map that people don't really know how to play just yet, and use it to leap forward and grab some momentum that you didn't have before, right? It's what we saw with Flashpoint. I think for the foreseeable future, that's what we're going to see with Clash. For White Snowfall, I don't think they're that worried about the map loss here. I don't think they're that worried about much of anything, frankly. Maybe Short Bus. That might be like one of the few things that they would actually be worried about just overall. But I think that YE Snowfall, they're gonna be fine. They'll figure Clash out. Demon Kittens, yeah, it's early in the season. You're only 1-1. You got 2 more weeks before the mid-season tournament. You got 7 more weeks before the playoffs. You'll be fine. They'll be all right.
And yeah, not to interrupt the Fletch and Mega podcast here, but we definitely have rambled enough. Fletch
to go EP.
Yeah, Fletch has rambled enough, but
I like to get tilted sometimes.
listen, it's fine. The CGL podcast coming soon, promise. But yeah, so thank you to all the viewers for turning in.
Not legally binding.
Thank you to all the viewers for turning in. Thank you to our amazing Echo and Headrammer operating everything behind the scenes, making us look good, making the CGL package look good. Season 14 is bigger, it's better than ever, so make sure that you're following and subscribe if you've got that extra money, because guess what? That's how we can take that money, we give it to teams for prizes and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty great here. Join the community, all that fun stuff, and unless there's something else, I guess we'll see you next time.
Still a 12-year-old, guys.